Sponsor a Patient, an initiative of Youth for Seva, was launched in April 2010. In this program, we aim to support patients with severely disabling illnesses who are unable to look after themselves and have no financial, moral, or social support systems. The number of such needy patients in our society is remarkably high. These patients from low socioeconomic backgrounds are forced to live a life of misery as they do not have sufficient funds to pay for their treatment, nor do they have social and moral support systems to care for them. Why are we at Youth for Seva doing this? As well-to-do citizens of our country, we believe that it is our inherent responsibility to do our bit for that part of the society that is not as privileged as we are. In this modern, fast-paced world of self-centered materialism, we have just one request for you. Those who have to lead a miserable life just because they do not have the financial and social support systems which we take for granted. Those whose lives would become so much better and fulfilling if only we stepped in to do our bit for them. We here believe our country, our people, our responsibility. So how are we carrying out this program? Firstly, volunteers from Youth for Seva will be identifying these needy patients through routine surveys as well as by word of mouth. Once identified, our volunteers will be visiting these patients in their homes and will be collecting all available details from them. These details, medical and other, will be uploaded onto the website where potential sponsors can view them. Sponsors can choose the patient whom they wish to support, or they can contribute to the general fund of the Sponsor a Patient program through monthly donorship. The money that has been contributed will be used for obtaining medicines, food, and other essential supplies for the patient, providing transportation to and from the hospital, as well as for paying for the treatment that has been taken at the hospital. The donor will be notified as to how his or her contribution has been used. Meanwhile, we from the Sponsor a Patient team will be assigning a coordinator for each patient. This patient coordinator will be paying regular visits to the patient at his or her residence, will be getting in touch with the sponsor once the sponsorship has been settled, will buy medicines, food and other supplies for the patient, and will accompany the patient during regular hospital visits. The patient coordinator will also be essential in providing moral support to the patient during his or her path towards recovery or rehabilitation. For these procedures, the money that has been provided by the sponsor will be used. The patient coordinator will also regularly communicate and provide reports to the rest of the team at Sponsor a Patient, as well as to the sponsor as to how the patient is progressing and also regarding the patient's physical, psychological, and social conditions. What are the selection criteria that we use for patients? First, the patient is from a financially backward family. The patient has an illness that is severely disabling, that is long-term and needs expensive treatment or rehabilitation. The patient is confined to his or her home and does not have access to the local government hospitals in the city. The patient is unable to take care of himself or herself. The patient does not have any family or community support. The expected cost of total treatment will be put up on the website along with other details. The sponsor has an option to pay either the full amount or partial amount of treatment. Sponsorship will be valid for a period of 1 year. Sponsor can pay on a monthly or a yearly basis, either by cash, check, or online transfer to the wireless account. Sponsor will be periodically updated regarding the medical and social condition of the patient. Sponsor can stay in touch with patient either by meeting in person or by phone. At the end of 1 year, the sponsor can choose to continue or terminate the sponsorship. In case of continuation, he or she can choose to sponsor the same patient or a different patient. So let's join hands and together let's do our bit for those less fortunate than us and help change the lives of